Hi everyone, in this session we will discuss the multiple choice questions from continuity and differentiability. Question number 1, the function f mapping from R to R given by f of x is equal to minus of modulus of x minus 1 is. So you are given the 4 options and we have to choose the right option. Well, a modulus function is continuous everywhere, and to check for the differentiability we should understand that the modulus function is not differentiable at the vertex point. So, in a given function f of x is equal to modulus of x minus a, the vertex will be at point a comma 0. So, f is not differentiable, f is not differentiable at x equal to a, at x equal to a. So, in this question it is given f of x is equal to minus of modulus of x minus 1. So, the vertex is 1 comma 0. On putting x minus 1 to 0 we get x equal to 1. Therefore, we say that f is not differentiable, f is not differentiable at x equal to 1, at x equal to 1. So, the right answer will be continuous but not differentiable at x equal to 1. So, option C is the right choice. Question number 2, the function f of x is equal to e to the power of modulus of x is. So, as we have discussed earlier, modulus of function is not differentiable at its vertex point, and modulus of x has a vertex at 0. Therefore, the right option will be continuous everywhere but not differentiable at x equal to 0. So, the right option is option A. Question number 3, the function f of x is equal to step x, where step x denotes the greatest integer function, is continuous at. So, we should understand that the greatest integer function is continuous for all the non integral values of x, which means f is continuous, f is continuous for all x belongs to r minus z. So, here the question says the function f of x equals to step x is continuous at, it is continuous for all x belongs to r minus z, that means which are not integers. So, among the 4 choices we could see that option D is only a non-integral value. So, x equal to 1.5 is the only point where the function is continuous, and since option A, option B, option C are 3 integers, therefore, the function is not continuous. So, the right option is option D. Question number 4, the number of points at which the function f of x is equal to 1 by x minus step x is not continuous is. So, the function is not continuous when it is not defined, and we observe that this function is not defined when the denominator is 0, and x minus step x, x minus step x is equal to 0 for all x belongs to z. That means, if x is an integer, then integer minus step of an integer is integer. So, we get 0 when x is an integer. So, the number of points at which the function f of x is 1 by x minus step x is not continuous for all integers. So, it is not just 1 point or 2 points, but for all the integers. So, the right option is none of these. So, option D is the correct answer. Question number 5. The function f of x is equal to sin x by x plus cos x if x is not equal to 0, and f of x is equal to k if x is equal to 0 is continuous at x equal to 0, then the value of k is. So, the function is said to be continuous at a point if the limiting value of the function is equal to the value of the function. So, limit x tends to 0, f of x should be equal to f of 0 if f has to be continuous at x equal to 0. So, if f is continuous at x equal to 0, then this should be the condition. So, let us simplify this. So, limit x tends to 0, x tends to 0, f of x is sin x by x plus cos x, that should be equal to f of 0, and f of 0 is equal to k. So, this implies sin x by x tends to 0 is 1 plus cos 0 is also 1 is equal to k, or k is equal to 2. So, the right option is k equal to 2. So, option B is the right choice. Number 6, the value of k which makes the function defined by f of x is equal to sin 1 by x if x is not equal to 0 and is equal to k if x equal to 0 is continuous at x equal to 0 is. So, we have to find for what values of k is the function f of x continuous at x equal to 0, and here we observe that f of x is equal to sin 1 by x and limit x tends to 0, sin of 1 by x should be equal to f of 0 if the function has to be continuous at x equal to 0, and this value is equal to k. But here if you see limit x tends to 0 sin 1 by x, this limit does not exist. The reason is, as x tends to 0, sin 1 by x toggles between minus 1 and 1. Therefore, the limit does not exist. As x tends to 0, sin 1 by x toggles between minus 1 to 1, which means the limit does not exist. So, the option is none of these. Question number 7. The function f of x is equal to cot x is discontinuous on the set. So, as we have seen that cot x is discontinuous in the set where we observe that it is not defined. So, where is cot x not defined? If you are able to identify that, then the problem is solved. So, the function f of x equal to cot x is discontinuous on which set? So, it is discontinuous on the set where cot x is not defined. So, where is cot x not defined? We know that cot x is equal to cos x by sin x, and cot x is not defined when the denominator is equal to 0, that means when sin x is equal to 0. And when is sin x 0? Sin x is equal to 0 when x is equal to n pi, where n belongs to z, which means the function f of x equal to cot x is discontinuous on the set x equal to n pi. So, the right option is option A. Once again, the function f of x equal to cot x is discontinuous on the set. So, you are given the 4 options, and what we have to see is we have to see where the cot x is not defined, and it is, since we know that cot x equal to cos x by sin x. So, cot x is not defined when sin x is equal to 0, and sin x is equal to 0 when x equal to n pi. So, the right option will be option A. Question number 8. Let f of x is equal to modulus of sin x. Then we are given the 4 options. Always remember, modulus function is not differentiable at the vertex. When we have modulus of any function, say g of x, then this function is not differentiable when g of x is equal to 0. So, modulus of g of x is not differentiable at the points where g of x is equal to 0. So, modulus of sin x is not differentiable where sin x equal to 0, which implies x is equal to n pi where n belongs to z. So, the right option is, as we know that modulus function is always continuous and it is not differentiable for x equal to n pi. So, the right option is option B. F is everywhere continuous but not differentiable at x equal to n pi. Question number 9. The function f of x is equal to x minus 1 by x into x square minus 1 is discontinuous at. We know that the function is discontinuous at the point where it is not defined. So, here we observe that this function is not defined when the denominator is equal to 0. So, let us find out when is the denominator 0. So, x into x square minus 1 is equal to 0 implies x is equal to 0 or plus or minus 1. So, which means that this function is discontinuous at exactly 3 points. So, option C is the correct choice. So, one should also observe that even though you have common factors x minus 1, that should not be cancelled because only the two factors will be cancelled when both are non-zero numbers. So, x minus 1 should not be equal to 0, then only they can be cancelled. So, whenever we are given a problem with a common factor, we should not cancel out the common factors. So, the right option is exactly 3 points. Question number 10. If f of x is equal to x square into sin 1 by x, where x is not equal to 0, then the value of the function f at x equal to 0, so that the function is continuous at x equal to 0. As we have seen that f is continuous at x equal to 0 if limit x tends to 0, f of x is equal to f of 0. So, here let us write limit x tends to 0, x square into sin 1 by x, that should be equal to f of 0, and as limit x tends to 0, sin 1 by x toggles between minus 1 to 1, but that multiplied by 0 gives you 0 because x is tending to 0. So, x square tends to 0 into the value in between minus 1 to 1 gives us 0. So, f of 0 should be equal to 0. So, the right option is option A. Question number 11. The function f of x equal to mod x plus modulus of x minus 1 is. So, whenever we have two functions modulus of x and modulus of x minus 1, we consider this function as say f1 of x and this function as say g1 of x, and since the two functions are continuous, then the sum function f1 plus g1 is also a continuous function. If f and g are continuous functions, we know that the sum of the two continuous functions is always a continuous function. Here modulus x is continuous function and modulus of x minus 1 is also a continuous function. So, the sum of these two functions is also continuous function. So, here the right option is continuous at x equal to 0 as well as continuous at x equal to 1. So, option A is the right choice. Now, in the same question, suppose the question is asked about differentiability, then we can say that this function is not differentiable at the vertex points. We observe that the vertex of the modulus of x is 0 and the vertex for modulus x minus 1 will be at x equal to 1. So, this function is not differentiable at 0 comma 1, that is x equal to 0 and x equal to 1, x equal to 0 and x equal to 1. Here the question is only about continuity, so we can say that this function is continuous at x equal to 0 as well as at x equal to 1. Question number 12. The function f of x is equal to 4 minus x square by 4x minus x cube is discontinuous at what points? So, as we have discussed earlier, this function is discontinuous at those points where function is not defined. So, the function is not defined when 4x minus x cube is equal to 0. So, let us find out for what values of x is 4x minus x cube equal to 0. So, we can take x common, 4 minus x square equal to 0. So, which implies x equal to 0 plus or minus 2. So, this function will be discontinuous at the values x equal to 0 and plus or minus 2, so that is 3 values. So, option C is the right choice. So, 12th option is C. And as I told you earlier, we should not cancel out the common factors. Whenever we are solving the problems to check for discontinuity, we should not cancel out the common factors. We should take the function as it is given. Number 13. The set of points where the function f given by f of x is equal to modulus of x minus 3 into cos x is differentiable is. So, as we know that cos x is differentiable everywhere. So, now we have to only check for modulus of x minus 3, and modulus of x minus 3 is not differentiable at x equal to 3. Therefore, the set of points where function is differentiable is all real numbers except 3. So, the right option is option B, option B. So, whenever we have product of two functions, so this function f of x will be differentiable at those points where it is differentiable for the two functions, that is modulus of x minus 3 and cos x. We know that cos x is differentiable everywhere and modulus of x minus 3 is differentiable for all real numbers except 3, because we know that the vertex is at x equal to 3. Therefore, the right answer is option B. So, this function f of x equal to modulus x minus 3 into cos x is differentiable for all real numbers except 3. Question number 14. Differential coefficient of secant of tan inverse x with respect to x. Differential coefficient means derivative itself. So, here we have to find derivative of secant of tan inverse x with respect to x. So, let us find what is d by dx of secant of tan inverse x. So, in order to simplify this, we put tan inverse x equal to theta. So, using the right angle triangle, so taking this angle as theta, x is equal to tan theta. So, x is will be the opposite side and x by 1, so 1 becomes the adjacent side. The hypotenuse becomes x square plus 1, x square plus 1. So, we can write the same thing in terms of secant theta as secant theta is equal to root over x square plus 1 divided by 1, or theta equal to secant inverse of square root of x square plus 1. So, we have already taken tan inverse x as theta and we got theta equal to secant inverse root x square plus 1. Therefore, we can say that tan inverse x equal to secant inverse of square root of x square plus 1. So, we write this as d by dx of secant of, in place of tan inverse x we write secant inverse of root over x square plus 1. So, we get this as d by dx of secant inverse will root x square plus 1 becomes root over x square plus 1, and the derivative of root x square plus 1 is 1 by 2 root x square plus 1 into derivative of x square plus 1 is 2x. So, 2 gets cancelled and we get the answer as x by square root of x square plus 1. So, the right option is option A. Question number 15. If u equal to sin inverse 2x by 1 plus x square and v equal to tan inverse 2x by 1 minus x square, then find du by dv. Here the problem is very simple. We could observe that u equal to sin inverse 2x by 1 plus x square, and which is nothing but u is equal to sin inverse 2x by 1 plus x square is nothing but 2 tan inverse x, and also we could see that v equal to tan inverse 2x by 1 minus x square is once again 2 tan inverse x. So, which means u is equal to v, or du by dx is equal to dv by dx. So here the question asked is du by dv. Du by dv is du by dx divided by dv by dx. So which should be equal to 1 because both are equal. So the option is option D. Question number 16. If y is equal to log of root tan x, then the value of dy by dx at x equal to pi by 4 is. So let's simplify this. Y is equal to log of, we can write this as tan x to the power of half. Using the property of logarithm, we write y equal to half log tan x, half log tan x. So we can find dy by dx as half into derivative of log tan x is 1 by tan x into derivative of tan x becomes secant square x. So dy by dx at x equal to pi by 4 is 1 by 2 into 1 by tan pi by 4 into secant square pi by 4, which is 1 by 2 into 1 by 1 into secant square pi by 4 is 2. So the answer is 1. So option B is the correct choice. Question number 17. If y is equal to root over sin x plus y, then dy by dx is equal to. So let's square on both the sides. So we get y squared equal to sin x plus y. Now differentiating both the sides with respect to x, we get 2y dy by dx is equal to derivative of sin x is cos x plus dy by dx. So we find dy by dx. Now by writing 2y minus 1 dy by dx is equal to cos x, or we get dy by dx is equal to cos x by 2y minus 1. So the right option is option A. So with this we are done with the multiple choice questions. Thank you so much, children. I hope all of you understood all the questions. Thank you.